a minute just to come in. Welcome, Heather. It is good to
Hi.
see you. What kind of business are you in? I just wanted to know so I can kind of
Well,
tailor
you know,
it.
I just happened to be on Facebook and I just saw there was a meeting starting straight away. So I just sort of clicked it and here I am on the thing. So I'm totally hopper out.
No, it's fine. All right, so
Yeah.
it's going to be about SuiteDash. Do you currently
Oh,
have?
yes, I do. Yes, trying to learn how to use it and we haven't launched yet. So it's trying to understand it. So very early stages.
Nice. So
Mm.
I've been trying to take the opportunity to make little videos for live streams. And so there's been a couple of different live streams that has been going on through the system. You should definitely take a look. I like to just help build the system, and this is just a free workshop for you to kind of ask any questions you want,
Yes.
how to build it. So
Yeah.
the purpose of it. Hello, Kim. I'm gonna call you Kimitha. Is that wrong?
No, you're fine.
How do you pronounce your name?
It's Kimitha or Kamitha. Which one?
Kamitha. Okay, that's pretty actually. Kamitha.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna hop right into this. Welcome to this live stream. This is gonna be focused on onboarding processes. I know that people have different ways to do it. One of the ways that I've kind of like done it for tax preparers and other business owners is first having them go through the process of doing an intake form and then inviting them to the portal. From inviting them into the portal, they're on a portal page that has like an intake form that kind of, so the first is the inquiry form, then inviting them to the portal, then they have an intake form, and then it goes through each step until they get to the proposal and ending. So
Okay.
it's going to be what this is going to be for today. It is an hour, and I'm going to get started. And as anyone comes in, you guys are free to communicate within here as well. Stop me just so that we can communicate and talk through anything. And that's just how I like to have this flow for all of us. Okay, so we're going to get started. The first thing I like to kind of do is this small presentation. It is not me sales pitching you at all. It just gives you a debriefing of what's going to happen today. So I am Marie. I empower visionary CEOs to master their chaos with effective, efficient systems and task execution. So I emphasize on personal well-being and business growth. If you don't know what SuiteDash is a very, very comprehensive tool that is used worldwide, and also it is used for an all-purpose, all-in-one client portal. I am a certified agent. However, I just want to let you know that I don't know everything. I do just love using SuiteDash, so I use it for my own reasons. So as I mentioned, today is going to be focused on inviting them into the portal from an inquiry form, then putting them into the process of seeing a welcome, a proposal, an invoice, and then the service page. We're going to be using a few different things, and it's going to kind of pull from the last one that we did. Ari, please stop. My daughter's 2, so she's doing things. And then we're going to kind of go from there. So let's get started. The first thing I always do is I go into my dummy account. You're going to be in your account. One of the things that I like to do first is we talked about the precursors of setting up SuiteDash. One of them is making sure that you have an inquiry form already set up. I like to do this, and I'm going to turn my camera off because it just helps it load a little bit easier. So I like to actually have everything set up prior, which is going to be my kickoff form, my circles. And so if you don't know what a circle is I like to call it a group, so I renamed it to groups, but it's just kind of the staging or the placement of individuals. I like to create mine in stages of like the steps that my process is. So first they'll go through inquiry, then they'll go through proposal / invoicing, then they'll actually be on that service page. Because we're going to be doing something a little bit different today, I'm going to add another circle. It's going to be called welcome. And then I'm going to make sure I click the marketing checkbox that says create and sync an associated market audience. What that does, allows you to be able to send this circle any dedicated marketing campaigns or drip campaigns based on the fact that anyone who's in this circle will receive it. So I like to do that because it allows me to, instead of having to go into marketing, create an audience, it links with whatever circle I've already created. So my first step will now be to make sure all of these are set up. I also want to make sure that when I come into my finances, I have a proposal set up. That proposal is going to be what that client sees on that back end, which I have one set up here from the last workshop. And then I like to also look at my generators. So I'm going to go to generator and on demand. And I like to set up the generator as well to make sure that whenever they sign the proposal, it's automatically going to generate an invoice. There are a few automation pieces that you want to put in place once you're setting all of this up. One of them is going to be and I'll do it from this stance because we're here, but one of them is going to be after the generator, and let me move this over so I can invite people in. After you set up the generator, then the next thing you want to do is make sure that you actually set up the automation to have them manage automation. So you're going to have them convert into a client, which technically on the proposal, it already does that. So you don't want to do anything here, but uncheck this button. If you want them to get a notification, which would allow them to essentially say, hey, you've now been marked as a client, that's essentially what that will do. I don't personally like to do that, so I pretty much don't do it. And so that's the kind of way that I kind of keep up with that. And so I uncheck it. And then I also want to make sure I'm adding them in the appropriate circles. So after they after they sign the proposal, they are still going to be in the proposal / invoicing circle, but I'm removing them from the inquiry circle, which would have been from the portion of where I would actually invite them into the kickoff form, okay? Also, I want to make sure I'm generating that invoice. So that invoice is going to be something that I want to make sure that is going to prompt after they sign this proposal. We talked in the last workshop about creating dynamic items. Essentially what this is if you need to create a certain amount on an invoice, you don't want to have to go in and manually do it, using a kickoff form, you can actually do that. And so it will create a custom field, which would allow you to dedicate the cost for that rate. I love using this tool for, like, for example, tax professionals love using this tool. It allows them to set a deposit amount. The only thing is that this doesn't really it can't, from my testing, it can't be a reoccurring invoice, but you would do this as like an initial invoice, and then you would have them pay the invoice, and then you can create a workaround where you can actually have a discounted amount for the ongoing invoice. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So for example, let's look at this generator. So this generator right now is going to have two items. It's going to have the item for the dynamic setup fee, which I'm going to use as a deposit. And then from there, you also have the ability to add any subscription. So what I normally do is for the first month, I put it on a trial for 30 days so that that subscription does not activate. It will, however, start to activate after that 30 days. So initially, when they pay this invoice, it will lock in their value for how much their card number, and essentially it would auto charge them for the next month. So that's the grace about doing it this way. I really, really enjoy doing it this way. So the next thing that you want to do in this, though, is to make sure that your invoice is set up accordingly. So that's going to mean that you actually have everything from the naming of the title. You want to make sure that you do the items that you want to add on there. You want to make sure that you have the payment fees on there. So all of that will be set up, as well as the other item, which is going to be, one second. Ari, look at the TV. Look at the TV. All right, so you have all of the items set up on there, including the automations need to be added on here after they pay. So one of the automations that you want to do is you want to just change their circle. So I like to take them out of whatever proposal circle I have them in and then put them into the servicing circle. So I'm going to remove them from the proposal, and then I'm going to add them. Oops, I did the opposite. So I'm going to remove them from the proposal, and I'm going to add them into whatever service. In this case, it's going to be admin. Okay. So those are the things that's happening right now. Now, there's going to be a few other things that we do because, again, this is going to be once they're invited into the portal. So I'm going to show you now how we're going to do that. The first thing I like to do is to create a portal page that will be their welcome page. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Canva is like my best friend. And so graphics are all made through Canva. One of the things that we're going to do is with the portal page, you're going to make sure you're assigning it to the correct circle. So the circle that you want to assign it to is going to be that welcome circle, because that's going to be who gets invited inside of the portal. Second thing you want to do, if you need your team members to have access to it, you can do that as well. If not, you can skip that section. But then you're going to go ahead and name this category. For the sake of just testing, I'm just going to put what I already have in here. I like to hide this page from the dynamic menu, which just creates a menu down here. I like to create custom menu fields. So what I'm going to do is just add this as welcome, and then I'm going to create a custom menu item for it to be welcome here. And then we're going to go to content block editor. So I'm going to do basic setups here because I do want to make sure this is very information filled, and you guys can do custom things after the fact. So the first thing I like to do is use the website design feature. It just gives me the flexibility of changing sizes, and it's very easy for me to maneuver around. And then secondly, I'm going to just use like dummy items. So I'm going to create like a logo. This will be my logo that I'll have moving consistently. And then I have tried this different ways. I like either doing like a workflow type of vibe where you're going to have it navigate like this, and then you have like buttons on there. So you can, I've done it to where it's like this, and then one button is bolder, and then, or you can have like an item on here or whatnot. But I'm going to set this up so that it's just going to be a basic setup now, and you can be as creative as you want to. I'm going to make this 3 steps, and we're going to even that out. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now create the items that's going to be on them underneath the bottom. So I'm going to just use a text field, and I'm going to say welcome, and I'll say this is going to be proposal, because what we're doing is we're going to invite them into the portal and have them go through our step-by-step process, okay? And then we're going to say we're just going to say dashboard. So I'm going to change the font sizes of these. I like to make sure that once I'm doing this, that they can clearly see which page they're on. So either I'm indicating that this is going to be bold, or this is going to be in a color that's going to highlight that they're on a certain page. So you can use like an effect, and you can have that effect be like a highlighted color so they know where they are. I actually want to do a crown instead. Let's just do a crown. So in your setup, what you're going to do is have that same type of layout. You're going to just create the process and however you want to create it, and like their step by step, and then you're going to take them through this. Now, in the same breath, I duplicate this and I move the transitions for everything. So now instead of them being in welcome, this is 30. I'm going to put this the same font, so 32. I'm going to bold this one, and I'm going to do the effect here. Make this now to be, I can easily just click on this one, hit this copy style, and then hit paste, and then it just goes away. And then I'm going to do paste again here. And then I'm going to do the same thing I just did. So I'm going to copy this, do it for this, and then for this one, I'm going to paste it. So now they're going to know that they're in dashboard, they're in welcome, they're here. So these are just going to be the layers that we're using. Again, these are all very quick created graphics. And then I download these, and I like to do it in transparent if I want to change the background of it. But for the most part, you could just do it a regular, and then you're going to download all 3 pages, and then you're going to hit download. I do all of this in a back end first because I want to make sure that my layout of all my portal pages are set up before I even start to work through anything. So now we're going to start with the portal page 1. So I'm going to show you guys something very interesting, because a lot of people normally create multiple portal pages for items. I don't. I like to use one portal page for a few different items. So I'm going to have both the proposal and the welcome here, and I'm going to make sure that when I save it, that I have the start pages set up for both as well. So what happens is once they complete I'm assigned to something. Once they complete one portal page, they don't get refreshed to go to another portal page. They're refreshed, but they're staying on the same portal pages and blocks are changing. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in a quick setup. Right, so let me just make sure I'm not in a custom field right now. So now if I go here, I'm going to go ahead and assign these portal pages. And hit save. All right. I also come into these stylings. If you don't know what this is, these are your quick links for previewing to assign start pages. So what I just did is I assigned the start pages for the circles. So once the two circles are inside, once they're in, they'll see these as their start pages, okay? And then also I am gonna update the styling. I don't like seeing the head title on top of it, so I always hide it so it doesn't show up. And then I also like to make sure that all of my fonts are cohesive. So I change all of my fonts if I want to make sure all my fonts are the same fonts that I want to style them. And then you have notifications where I would not toggle these if you're going to be updating this frequently, but this will allow anyone who has access to this to get notified every time you make a change to this portal page. So for tax professionals, this might be beneficial if you wanted to update like new fee fields or something. This will give them the ability to say, okay, this was updated. So that's a very cool feature. And then this load template, if you had a template that already existed, we do create templates, by the way. I can show you some at the end of this, so you can see how portal pages can look once we're in a system. So I'm gonna go ahead and now add my image onto the home screen. So I'm gonna use the first one that we have, which is gonna be the welcome. And I'm gonna just use a regular image block. And once that comes in, you're going to see that it comes in, and this is what my welcome looks like. So imagine this to be your logo and your step-by-step. The next step that I want to do is add whatever information I need this client to see on this welcome page. So I'm going to go ahead now and add in the same row, or if you need to add like a different row because you have different columns, I'm going to add now information for that welcome. So welcome, I'll say welcome, and then I'm going to use the placeholder for first name. This is the first step. And then you can add any other details that you want. In another screen, I want to go to my forms, and whatever kickoff form, or rather update form that I need them to fill out, I'm going to have that as well there. So let's create a quick update form. The difference between kickoff, update, support ticket, and general forms are this. Kickoff forms are more so for new members who are known or unknown that want to start a process, get added into a sequence, things like that. Update forms are more so for people who are already existing in the portal and have and you like to transition them into another space. So I'm going to do this as an onboarding form, and then I'm going to just add random fields here. So let's just add, let's say that I wanted them to put in their company name, their first name, and their last name, okay? This section is going to be the most important section, which, or even if you wanted to add like an appointment block, let's say that you wanted them to also schedule an appointment at the same time. So let's make this required, and let's put the discovery call link here. That's the one that I have activated. And then now also what we want to do, because remember, when they come to this page, they're going to be inside of the welcome circle. We want to take them out of the welcome circle, and we want to put them into the proposal circle. So I'm going to remove them from the welcome circle once they've completed this form. And then I want to add them into the proposal circle. I could also do different things here, like I can send them an email, I can send them a text message, I can do all of that information here as well. So for example, I can even like have them added to a schedule, I can give them a checklist. All of those items can be here. I'm just showing you the basic steps to kind of get you navigated. So once that's done, I don't think I saved it. All right, so let's go back and do this. So circle, we're gonna add them to proposal, and we're gonna remove them from the welcome. All right, save. So once that's done, then I need to just grab the link of this portal page. So I'm sorry, of this form. So I'm going to actually grab this link, which is going to be here. Did I actually save the form, Lord? I don't think I did save the form. Yes, I did. Okay, perfect. So the form is saved. So once you grab the link, you're going to go back to your form here, your portal page here, and just add this short link. This short link is going to be what shows up onto this form. You won't be able to see it here, but you will see it in the preview. I like to also center it. I like to be things sometimes centered depending on what's happening. And I'm going to save it, and I'm going to preview it now as a person. So I'm going to preview it as a client. I'm going to preview it as Marie. And so once they see it like this. Okay, so they're going to see the form. I don't like how clean this looks. It doesn't really look as clean, right? So one of the things I want to make sure I do, I test out my sizing. I look at my alignment. I look at what I want them to see. So I'm going to actually make this a bit bigger. I'm going to bold this a bit. So that's going to be what they see coming in. And I'm probably going to make that look tighter here. And then also on my form actually has some layers that I don't normally like on forms, which is going to be the title of the form. So I want to remove the title, and I want to remove the requirement of message, and I'm going to hit save. So now that I do that, coming back here, if I preview it, you're going to see those were removed. See, now it looks very clean. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, because I only want people who are in the welcome circle to see this, this is the biggest trick that I've learned. Edit this block, and you're going to go ahead and go to access options and only show it for those who are in the welcome circle. That will be the only thing that they see once they come in, and that will be what will help them to navigate through the process. Once that's done, the next step that I like to do to make it so easy for myself is I like to just duplicate that block, and then I'm going to now edit that same row and say, okay, instead of welcome, I want this to be just for the proposal individuals. So this will now duplicate it, and it only shows for whoever is there. For you, you'll see everything, but for them, they only see what they need to see. You can also create an entire separate circle if you want it. Portal page if you want it to. It is an option that you can do. I just prefer to do it this way because it just gives me the leverage of not having to create multiple portal pages at once. Now, we have to make edits to this portal page, so I'm going to update this photo, and I'm going to go ahead and do image 2, and I'm going to hit save. And I'm also going to update this section here because now they're going to be not welcome, but they're going to say, I'm just going to say thank you, portal page or client name. Please sign the proposal. Please sign the proposal by clicking the link below. So now I'm going to remove this form. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask, okay? And I'm going to save it. Other thing I need to do is going to add a button field. And this button, I'm going to update and say proposal. And I'm going to navigate it over to billing. No, actually, navigate over to proposals. And then I like to open it in a new window because sometimes open it in the same window, people get confused on how to come back. But I do like to open it in a new window. If you don't, you can always keep it into the same window. I also like to change the width a bit. So I'm going to make it 100 and make the size about 50 height. So it gives it more like just 150, more like a button feel. And I'm going to also, because everything else is centered, aligned left, I'm just going to make it aligned left. I kind of feel like sometimes I have like this issue with alignment in here, so I always have to do the extra amount. And if you don't know how to do that, inside of style options, you have the option to kind of like navigate around the size, like the alignment of things. I like things to be very precise and in alignment, so that's how you can do that, by changing that around. So I'm going to hit save. So what have we done so far? We created a inquiry form that the person would first take in order to get inside the portal, and I'm going to show you what the inquiry form looks like. So let me kick off form number 1. So kickoff form number 1 is going to be their, no, we use kickoff form number 2. Or did I use kickoff form number 1? I think I probably used both. Okay, nope. So kickoff form number 2 is what we use in order to have them come inside of the portal, okay? It's gonna be our inquiry. I'm gonna call this inquiry. And so our inquiry form is going to do one thing. No, I don't want to do it, Elias. I'll actually do a link. So what our inquiry form is going to do, let me go into this edit here. Our inquiry form is going to first assign whoever this person is, if they're unknown, to the prospect role. It's going to assign them as the coordinator for me. I can add them now inside of the inquiry circle. And then I'm also going to just make sure that they get the option here to go ahead and get this invitation to portal. And it's not going to be an inquiry circle, actually. It's going to be the welcome circle because we're immediately going to welcome them in. So once we do that, I'm not going to focus on known right now because known are people who are already known inside of the portal. And I'm going to hit save. So if you don't already know, you can actually edit portal invitations inside of this form. That means that you can customize this exact portal invitation to kind of make it to where, okay, if you're going to have, if they selected that they want to do admin, you can specify that role and say, okay, because you're going to be coming in as admin, I want to welcome you into the portal. Go ahead and, set up, and you can have all that information there. So once they come into the inquiry circle, sorry, the welcome circle, I keep saying the wrong circle. Once they come into the welcome circle, they're going to be invited and they're going to see the first portal page, which is going to be the welcome portal page. Once they come to the welcome portal page, they're going to complete this form. Once they complete the form, it's going to automatically update their circle into this screen. All right. So let's connect it all because right now it's not connected. So let's connect it all and make it sense. Okay. First that we want to do is we want to confirm. I'm going to use this portal page here. So I'm going to open this on this screen. That's the one that we're going to use to test it out. And then what I want to do as well is I want to go back to, let me see if I had it open. Nope. Okay. I want to go back to my update form, which is going to be the onboarding form here. Edit it. And I want this onboarding form to do a couple things. It needs to trigger them into the different circles, but it also needs to send them the actual proposal that we already have created. So it's going to be dynamic proposal. And remember, from the back end portion, the proposal is going to trigger the next circle. So as long as they get the proposal, they're going to also get the next circle. Okay. So that's going to happen there. And then now, because we know that the proposal is the next step for them to move forward, we just need to go to the proposal to make sure that the proposal automations are correct. So let's go to this proposal and then let's go to manage proposal. So what this is going to do is if we're moving them out of this welcome, I need to update this to the welcome, and then it's going to add them now into the proposal invoicing, which is what we still have them in. Okay, so are we following? Are you guys good? Do you have questions? I want to make sure we're still here together. Heather, you're good? You have questions?
No, that's fine. Yeah, I find it a wee bit fast, but yeah, that's okay.
You can slow me down. That's the point. So you can slow me down because I know that you're newer to this. So yeah. What exactly are you getting? Where are you getting lost to?
Oh no, it's just the whole thing is fast because I'm looking at this, from quite new, but it's fine, Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
When you watch through this, because it's going to go into the SuiteDash circle, when you watch through this, it's going to help you to create those steps in your mind as well, understand what's next. So yeah. You always ask questions as well, okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, the more times you watch it, the easier it's going to be.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to close some of these screens. And I want to make sure that everything is all ready to test. So it's going to take them out the welcome and proposal. All right.
Marie, are you going to have a replay of this? I'm definitely going to go back and watch.
Absolutely, yes. It will be inside of the SuiteDash room as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so now once this is done, it will prompt an invoice, and I'm not going to do the invoice one because it is going to take me a bit to kind of recycle it. But what I'm going to do is now I am going to test it out so you guys can see. So the first thing that will happen is the person comes in, and I'm going to do another test account. Ari, stop. All right, so we're going to do an alias. And I'm going to change the name here to Ari. So now this would be a new client that comes in. And so what will happen, and I'm going to show you the emails that come through once it comes through. All right. So if you are not aware, SuiteDash does have a slight delay when it comes to sending emails, but they do come through normally very quickly. So the client will get this inquiry to come in and do welcome to the actual portal. So I'm going to do that into a custom field. I'm sorry, an incognito window. So now I'm at the invitation space. It pre-populated the information. I'm going to just put a password in. And you also would get, oh, I have to do 8 letters, right? You would also get notifications when a person just onboards as well. And then they'll save and they will accept. The first thing they're going to see, again, we mentioned it's going to be that first page. So it's going to be the first page that gets them into that circle that says welcome. So we're saying, welcome, Ari. This is the first steps. Now, Ari's name is already going to be pre-populated because she's a known client. So it pre-populates her information here, which is pretty cool. And then the next step is Ari needs to just complete this. So I'm going to leave this blank, but I am going to like select a time frame. Let's say that I'm going to do, let's do a random. Let's do this one. And then I'm hitting submit. So what happens is that now it marks it complete. You see that it does refresh, but then it takes to the next proposal page. Okay. So now we've transitioned to the next page, which is prompting us to do the next step, which is to click on this to go to proposal. Once she clicks on this, she should see the proposal already generated because remember, the form is what sent this proposal to be the generator. So let's now click on this. She'll also get emails to say, hey, you know, I want to make sure I'm going through this. This is the dummy one. So I'm going to go ahead and sign all of this. Next, accept. And then after that, you saw that it says invoice has been saved. Once that's generated, then if Ari goes into here, the only thing about this though is that when the client is inside of it, it does take a refresh for them to have to come and see the new activated features because they are now converted over to a client. So once she refreshes, this is why I always have like an invoice stage where it prompts her to click on the button and then it takes her to another circle once that contract is finished. And then now invoices is going to be the next stage. So when she sees the invoice, you can see that the invoice was generated as well. She can go ahead and pay it. Once she pays this invoice, now you can also create another portal page. But that process would be the same thing. And you can see as she's transitioned through everything, you'd have that space of seeing on the back end. She went from, let's go to the CRM.
I have a question, Marie.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say you have different services. How would that work? The proposal would be, it would go with each service. Is that correct?
Yeah. So you can make a service a proposal, or you can have, because SuiteDash doesn't have the ability to do like selected options on a single proposal. But what I recommend is on the first page, like that welcome page that you're on, for that kickoff form that you're having them fill out or the update form, I would have them select a package. So you can use a choice block. Do you know what the choice block is?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can use a choice block on that update form, and I'm going to actually show you as I'm telling you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem. So I would always recommend when they're coming in, I like the feel of getting them into the portal first so that they can understand what the portal feels like, looks like, and all the things. But then you can actually have a choice block on here, which will allow them to select a plan, essentially. So this can generate either one proposal or it can generate a combined proposal. So it would take for you to actually create your proposals in the back end. If you have like a combined service, then you'd have website plus maintenance, and you'd have, you know, the coaching plus one-on-one sessions. You'd have those kind of like intermittent, like combined packages, or you can have single ones. And so let's say plan one is going to be set up where it sends them the actual proposal for plan one. And then plan two would send them the proposal for plan two. And whatever they select, they will actually get that proposal generated and that invoicing process happening, and they will flow through that system. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
So that's the recommendation there, for you to do it that way. Heather, for your company now, you're just starting out. So what do you do specifically? Heather, are you still with us? Okay, I think she muted. But Kim, oh gosh.
You could just call me Kim, honey. You can call me Kim.
Kim, can you tell me what you do specifically so I can try to also give you some pointers on the other ends?
I offer bookkeeping, tax prep, and I do some business consulting also.
Perfect. So with all of the bookkeepers and tax preps that I've helped build out SuiteDash, this is one of the main processes that I do because it helps them to have the clients go through the step-by-step. Because for you, you're gonna want to also do like the first step of having the dynamic invoice where do you charge like a deposit up front, or do you have them pay up front for everything?
Not for tax prep, for bookkeeping I do.
Okay, perfect. So you can have that two separate processes built out. One of my recommendations would be, if you are comfortable with them coming into your portal, I would recommend highly doing this process to get their intake information, to see step by step where they are, because people, I've realized, they tend to work better when the information is presented one at a time. So having them, like, for example, upload all their bank statements, uploading all their bank trails. If you need to have them set up their QuickBooks accounts, having all that documents, like even video, step-by-step videos, so that they can do it together. One of the things I've done is I actually added in here, I would use video blocks. So the video blocks are very good, and then also checklists really help them as well. So having a checklist created that you can be able to have them check off items. Have you used checklists before?
No, ma'am. I saw your video, but I have not implemented it yet.
I think it would be a great benefit for you as well, because checklists will allow them to do it in one setting. So you can have them on one portal page and then just have them go through the checklist items, and it will navigate them to wherever you want them to go. And then once you do that, once you're at the space of having them do more in detailed items, like you can have a folder generated once they click a checkbox and they've completed it. So it'll kind of help you navigate through the process.
Okay. Now, I was thinking about like doing YouTube videos, adding YouTube videos to show them how to do specific things in QuickBooks, like add me as an accountant, that type of those type of videos.
I would love to show you what that looks like, because honestly, one of the most beautiful things is when people come in and they're like, oh my gosh, it's like a whole LMS process. So let's just use a random video. I'm gonna copy this link. And then I'm going to use the same portal page option. So once they come in, you can actually have that video link here, and then still just allow them to see everything. But inserting this video allows them to just go to step one, then after that, go to step two. So it will allow them to see this video first, and then you can tell them to complete the form when it's completed, or check it off when it's done. And then that will kind of give them the navigation. So even what I also do, instead of even having forms for like progression, you can use buttons, and buttons can be used through the auto templates, and auto templates can actually navigate you. So if they've completed something and you want to remove them from a circle, the great thing you can do is using this auto template feature It's the same process. You just add auto template. It's just automations. So you'll name it whatever you want. So let's say QuickBooks, right? QBO setup. So once you name it, then you want to go ahead and add whatever process it is. So you can have them removed from that circle, you have them put them into a circle, and then it can even navigate them from the portal page that they're on now to the portal page you need to be on next for the next steps. So that's a great way to do it as well. Even for you, what I think might be helpful, because do you use SuiteDash for file management as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm guessing you have a folder that you create for each of them. Are you doing it manually?
Unfortunately, yes.
That's fine. So I'm trying to give you as much tips as I can. I would say when they come to a page that you feel very most comfortable or that they're ready to get fully set up, you're gonna go into files and you want to create the structure that you need for every client. So you're gonna go to the folder generator here and you're gonna create the folder that you would need for every client. So that's because every client, every prospect essentially gets a folder already generated. But let's say this is going to be QBO like client. You could just say QBO. And then this now is going to be inside of this, the folders that will be shared with them. So what you would do is you would use in the shared with target folder, that folder layout. So you'd say bank statements. You'd say, company documents, whatever that looks like. So all of that information would go in here. Once they've touched the space of being where you feel most comfortable that they're ready, you can then use the automation to auto-generate this folder inside of their folder. And then you can also just use the button. I'm going to show you on the screen. You can use the button on that screen to say navigate to their files.
I know that's what I have a lot of. I don't have my forms embedded. I have like a button set up so they can click on the button and it takes them like open up a new tab. That's how I have my intake form set up.
And that's fine as well. When I think about setting up the system, I think about convenience of time and convenience of people. So if they are used to that process, which is perfectly fine, then that means that you've kind of trained them to go into a space, understand that there's going to be a link that they click. So they'll be used to that. For the people that may need more of a hand holding type of basis, and you're like, oh, I don't know, the button is not working or the link isn't working or it didn't open, you can have an
Yeah, I've been having problems with the one of my clients was like for the proposal. For some reason she couldn't get the proposal. So I might change it up, switch it up a little bit. Since I saw a different way, I might change it up a little bit. Like go the way that you're going, to give it, be more accessible to them.
Right. And you just want to be able to, I kind of like anyone who doesn't know how to use SuiteDash, I want to put them through it. I test like family and friends. Hey, can you get through this without asking me questions? If they don't ask me questions, that means I can set this up for anyone who needs to be in that space, So when you do it that way, you'll have like a freedom of, okay, if they click this button, it's going to take them. And then you be the test as well. Test yourself as a client, go through the entire workflow. If there's a hiccup, that's how you know. Like if you understand, like if you know the process, but if you have to slightly think like, dag, what did I do here? Like that will give you that indication that maybe you need to change something.
Yes, I have a couple of dummy emails and everything set up to test out my system before I, give it to my client to work it out.
You are ahead of the game. You're ahead of the game. Are there any other questions that you have about the system in itself that I can help with?
No, ma'am, you're doing good. I've been watching your videos; they've been very informative. So you're doing real good. I appreciate this.
I appreciate you, Heather. Also, thank you so much for joining. This one will end a bit earlier because this was the process that I wanted to show. Is there anything that you would want to see in the future, both of you, or any thoughts? Because the next session, I'm thinking through what that will look like. So you can let me know if you have any kind of direct questions or workflows that you'd like to be built out. All right.
Well, basically, you have covered I was having like an issue with doing the portal pages. I'm like, how do I come up with a design? But I watched the video about the portal pages because I am
Mhm.
trying to build it out. I wanted to look professional also. So I looked at your video about the portal pages, which was very helpful. This one is very helpful also. So you're doing a good job. I don't know exactly what else because I'm still trying to get the feel of SuiteDash is very it's a lot.
Yes.
So because you can do so much with it, I'm just trying to figure my way out and see how to twerk it,
Yeah.
tweak it to be suitable for me and my clients. So
Yeah.
as far as what basically everything that I was having an issue with or was concerned about, you have made some videos about them. So not at this time. I don't have any other little things I need to be, you know,
I
fixed
wanted
yet.
to show you this as well. So I love like creating portal pages, and so we started creating portal pages now. Oh, let me just do it through a preview. So that'll be easier for people to actually have them already pre-created. Let me go to this page. Let me close all of these extra stuff. Okay, so I'll just preview it. And so we're making them based on brand colors and like priority links. And then these are all clickable fields. And then even the tech stack, like a lot of people want to be able to reach their stacks at all times. So just having tech stack. So we do create portal pages. We would try to make sure that people have, because you can get these based on just a share link. So we have different colors, but we also are doing different types of video, like different types of portal pages, so you could be able to just have your own design on there. I love making these. These are like the most fun things to do because people just want to have a design that's already created without having to do much work. And so you can always say, hey, Marie, do you make these portal pages or can you design this? But
Yeah, I was about to ask you that. Do you have like templates that you already, or do you provide that service?
yes. So we provide the service of creating all portal pages, landing pages. I am able to show you a landing page that we just created for a previous person. She did give me permission. So this is one of the landing pages that we literally just completed. And it's really beautiful because we created everything through Canva and then transitioned it over. And oh my gosh, I'm in love with it. I'm waiting for it to load because I think it's more exciting to see than for me to talk about it. So this is an entire landing page inside of SuiteDash, just a landing page. So this is for tax prep. And so I'm swifting through it because it is a client's page but these work. And so you can actually click on things and you have different designs, and we thought thoroughly through this. And so we make all of these as well, depending on and you can see like things are Giphy wise. So you have, moving fonts, you have this here, and then you have a banner.
Oh, okay, that's nice. I like that.
All work. So these links all work. So I love creating these, and we are able to create them for you as well. So I will also place that link inside so you can see how we can work together that way.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciated it. And also, if you have any questions, please let me know in the future, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I will let you know.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.